Ugh. Ugh. What up? Fucking Channel 2 fucking whacked another one of my accounts. You know, he's a fucking idiot. You can say whatever the fuck you want on your channel, but that doesn't mean you're right. Like, if he says something that he thinks is right, you're like, no, dude, it's not that at all. And you can be as nice as possible, and he will fucking block you. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I've never seen somebody so fucking stupid. You know, like, he is definitely got to be like borderline Down syndrome. Like, you know, like your light is not what's causing your plants to yellow out. That is fucking. That could be one of the things that's causing it, but it's not solely your light. That's not what it is. And if you knew how to use a light, you would know that. You would know that it's everything all together. It's the food, it's the light, it's the watering, it's the fucking you. It's you. I mean, like, how about the fact that you use the same soil that you've had bugs in and all that shit for the last 4 runs? Could that be the problem? Man, that could be, you know. Like, but you think you're always right, Channel 2, and maybe sometimes you are, but majority of the time, you're not. And you're never going to learn if you can't have a civil conversation with somebody. When somebody asks you a question and you yelling and screaming, that just makes you look even more stupid. Because you got to actually listen to other people. But you can't because you're such a narcissistic that you just can't. Everybody else is wrong. It's always everybody else's fault. I mean, like, I'm sure you got beat the fuck up already on PKR last night. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is you. You're not going to listen to my stream because you don't, because you're a fucking moron. You know? Like, I've tried to be nice about it. I've tried to just kind of bust your balls like a buddy. You know, you're a fucking idiot. You know? You should just eat a bullet. Eat a bullet. Nobody has to deal with you no more. And I don't say that about people because I give a fuck what you do. But you are the type of person that dumbs down fucking America. What your ideology and your fucking thoughts and what you think is right is not. I can tell you right now, if you're going into week 3, week 4 of flower and your plant's yellowing out, all that is you didn't go into transition with enough nitrogen in the plant. Because the plant will use the fuck out of nitrogen in transition. So at the end of transition, if you spent all the nitrogen and it ate up all the nitrogen and now there's nothing left, you're going to yellow out. And if you have the light super close, you're going to yellow out even faster. If you overwater or underwater, you're going to yellow out even faster. That all plays a part with itself. It all goes hand in hand. So when somebody says, hey, I don't think it's just a light, and you just block them because you think you've got to be right about everything, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Most everything you talk about over there is wrong. And I hope people are listening to this. Do not get grow advice from Channel 2. I mean, since my night. I mean, it ain't like I'm trying to go out of my way to shit on the guy all the time. But I kind of like Channel 2, you know? Like, fucking something about him. Like, you know, I like him. So I'm always busting his balls, hoping that he'll come around. But I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think, you know, I've got to look at the bigger picture. He will tell you he's been doing this 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is. I think he said he's 48. So if he's been doing it 30 years, that means he's been doing it since he's 18, right? Could you imagine doing something for so long and still not understanding actually how to fucking do it? You know? And like, just because the people around you do it the same way as you, don't mean that's the way it's done. That just means they don't know any better either. I mean, it's crazy to me. It's just nuts that he thinks that what he says, just because he says it, it makes it right, and it's actually furthest from the truth. You know, like, it is so fucking crazy to me because Channel 2 could at any fucking point, he still can. If he hit a few people up, there's quite a bit of people, but there's a few people that if he hit up behind the scenes, that would help him. And they wouldn't mind helping him and not saying that they're helping him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want the credit for helping him. I just want to see him fucking do good and stop saying dumb shit. You know, if you're going to be on the internet, you know, unfortunately, like, we laugh about the community, but realistically, if you're in the weed game, you're going weed and shit, you're on YouTube, you are part of the weed community. Like, fucking, unfortunately. I mean, where you sit or where you stand in that weed community is, you know, whatever. That's, you know. But Channel 2 is like the guy that's outside because he's no longer allowed in the building because he can't have a normal conversation without yelling and screaming. So Channel 2 is the guy that's standing outside looking in the window with 2 security guards fucking right there with him because he can't control himself and he still yells and screams outside. He will not listen to any of the information given to him. He automatically assumes because he said it, it's right. Look at his plants. So the people that are telling you what the problem is that don't have yellow plants are wrong. And the person that's growing the plants and it has yellow knows why they're yellow. Then why the fuck are they yellow? You know it was the light. Then why would you have the light so fucking close? Genius. But it's not the light. It's not the light doing that. It's not the light. Cool runnings. What up, buddy? Zib, what up? Is that the troll Zib? Or is that the real Zib? Yeah, he's gonna be blocked. Like 7 off of 7. I don't know. I have like my clone junkies. Then I have Chapo the Clown. And then I have Boof Zodics. Then I have Boof Zodics. Then I have Stony Boy. Then I have, I mean, I'm not trying to hide with any of these. Like, each one was done for something that maybe in the future. Look, if I think about doing something and think maybe I'll do that in the future, what I do is I pick a name of what I want it to be, whatever it is, and then I make me a YouTube channel, and I make me an email to that channel, That way I have it for the future if I decide to do what that way later on when I go to fucking start a channel, if I decide to do that, then I don't have to worry about not having the name or not. Like, if somebody comes up with Clone Junkies with a K, they're not going to be able to use it because I already have it. And I can show proof that I've had it for whatever amount of time. Right? So I just go on it. It has nothing to do with trolling. Like, I don't think honestly, I don't think many people troll at all. I don't. Just because they say something that you don't like doesn't mean they're trolling. They're just saying something that you don't like. I mean, and we take it now that, oh, they're trolling. Oh, they're just haters. Oh, they're just this. And it's like, no, they're not. They just don't agree with you. And they're allowed to tell you what they think. I mean, you're on a public platform. You're trying to get attention. That's why you're on the public platform. You're trying to get people to see. But the problem is, it doesn't work that way. You can't have everybody there, but only saying what you want them to say. Like, I guess you can block everybody, block them all, but you're never going to build a channel that way. You're never going to do nothing that way. So, just like, Creative had to tell me how wrong I was about putting hashtags and shit like that. Told me, no, I'm wrong. Go ask Gary Vee how you grow your channel. Go ask him. I mean, go Google. Does hashtags help you? Oh, fuck it. Since we're in the middle of it, I heard Creative the other day saying that I fucking, what did he say? He said, I left him hanging. Look, I talked to Creative on the phone. I mean, I'm not normally one that's going to tell you the business because that's not normally what I'll do. But since he decided to do that, then I'll tell you exactly that. He told me that him and Corey are not going to be doing the show as much. They're taking a little bit of a break because Corey's going to focus on real estate. And he's thinking about doing a show every day, showing the plant every day. That way, by the end of the grow, he can show each stage of the plants. And at the end of the grow, there's no way anybody can say the numbers are wrong. Nobody can say nothing because it was all documented, all shown. And what I told him was, that's cool if you want to do that, but you're going to have to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent. Nowhere in our conversation did I ever agree to do a show with him. Because I'm not going to commit to an everyday show just staring at cannabis plants. I mean, that's just boring to me. But I never committed to it. And to sit there and be like, oh, well, you're the reason why I did it. Like, no, you did it because you wanted to do it. Nobody makes you do anything. I didn't convince you to do it. You were telling me how you were going to do a daily show. And yes, I guess technically you apologized, but your apology was this. Sorry if I was being sorry if I was being rude. I probably was. Okay. I mean, guess technically that's an apology. I didn't need an apology. I just ain't gonna do a show with somebody that's, thinks they pretty much know everything. I mean, like, how can I have a conversation with you if you're going, no, when I know exactly what I'm saying is right? I've been on YouTube for going on like 6 years. Like, I know how it works. I mean, I've watched plenty of videos of how people build their channels. I've watched, Gary Vee is a perfect one. He'll tell you everything. And he'll tell you hashtags, fucking, you want to build a channel, that's what you do. But what you don't do is when somebody's coming up trying to add content to your fucking channel, in the middle of their conversation, you don't sit there and go, no. Tell them how wrong they are when they're not wrong. I mean, I'll pop in and out and create a show. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of boring. I mean, staring at plants. But I like Creative. Creative's a cool guy. You want to fucking learn how to grow plants? Creative will teach you how to grow fucking plants. But as a social part, it's not for me. It's not. We just don't mesh. Obviously, for me, that's just not going to work. I mean, it's not my show. He can do his show and have fun with it. What up? What up? I just felt it funny that he was like saying that I left him hanging. How many shows did he do before I ever showed up? If I left him hanging, wouldn't I have started at the very beginning of the shows with him? I mean, my name was never mentioned in the show as being part of the show. My name was, why all of a sudden was it left off? Why all of a sudden am I being the one that, like, I left you hanging? Like, it's weird. It's weird when people do that. I just started showing up to fucking try to add a little more substance to the fucking content. But obviously he didn't want that, so. I'm too old for that shit. Honestly, I don't even play the fucking, oh, okay. Once I'm done, I'm done. I'm just done. Like, I don't. What up, Lanculus? I just, I was trying to get on PKR last night. I couldn't get my fucking shit to sync up right. I couldn't get fucking, I got frustrated. I'm not gonna say I like creative, but I don't let nobody treat me like that. I don't. No. This is what I think of apologies. If you're so sorry, you probably shouldn't have did it in the first place, right? Like, you should have thought about it before you did it. Shit happens, but everybody's sorry nowadays. Everybody's sorry. Everybody's sorry. Why you gotta be sorry? Just stop doing dumb shit. Like, like I say, if you want to learn how to grow plants, creative will teach you how to grow plants. But I think we can all, though. I think we all could work on our social skills a little bit better. I think we all can. So I'm not saying anybody worse than anybody else, because we can all work on it. But I was just flabbergasted when I heard that yesterday. I left him hanging. I didn't even start the show with him. To tell you this, I never once got a thank you for showing up. Not that I was supposed to, but I mean, I left you hanging so much, but you never once said, hey, thanks for showing up and helping with the show. I never got that, but I left you hanging, right? That's why I'm just slowly slipping more and more away. These people are just nuts on here. People are nuts. I mean, I can't leave you hanging if I'm never part of the show. I just showing up. I was just giving you some advice behind the scenes. Stay consistent. But I'm about positive. Like, I've said this, and I'm about positive. When you called me and I picked up, you said, "Oh, you picked up." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, and you were like, "Oh, I was calling a bunch of people until somebody picked up." So it wasn't like you were even just calling me out of the blue, just call me to have a conversation. You were calling everybody until somebody picked up the phone and had a conversation with you. You know, so they like, I don't know. Weird. That's weird shit. That's weird shit. I thought, like I told somebody yesterday, I thought, hey, jumping up on creatives, maybe, I can help add a little bit of content, and maybe we can do something a little bit different with his show, and we can fucking talk more about smokers etiquette, about how, because nobody really listens how you should grow. Everybody's gonna do their own thing. Everybody thinks they got the best weed. Everybody got, okay. So how can you take your best weed that you claim you have and consume it in the best way possible? Like, and that's how I thought, man, that'd be cool to kind of add that little bit to with this show. Not that I'm committed to do the show every day. Not that I even agreed to do the show. Like, he wanted to do the show for something to do. Him and Corey weren't doing shows anymore. Like, I would have, if he would have asked me to do the show with him, I would have definitely said, yeah, but you can't do the show that plants every single. It just gets too boring. It's not enough substance to keep people drawn in. That's just my opinion. That's what I would have said. But it wasn't. I didn't have that option to say that because I wasn't part of the show. Here's 14 people. I don't know. I'm not trying to start no shit, but I mean, since you brought it up, I figured at least I should say my part. If he likes me so much, he likes what I talk about, he likes this, that, whatever about me. Has he ever asked me to be on his show? Fuck no. But he'll bring up any plant killer that shows up on it. But not that I would do his show, but I mean, like, has he done anybody in the community? Or has it just been all people that got a lot of followers? And that's cool if you're just trying to build a channel and build followers. All I was trying to do was help by saying hashtags do help. You have to put in hashtags. You have to be consistent. I mean, if you drop off the algorithm, you have to rebuild that up. I mean, it's just the way it works. I mean, I actually just watched a video and somebody was talking about that. And they're like, they were gone for a couple minutes, came back, and they only get half the views that they did before. Because everybody's gone. You didn't stay consistent. Everybody fucking found somebody else. Everybody went somewhere else. It's just the way it goes. It's like when you lose subscribers, it's not necessarily the people unsubscribing from you because most people don't have the extension, the attention span to go in there and sit, find everybody, and then start clicking to unsubscribe. It's because if the person doesn't come and watch you after so long, has no engagement with you after so long, YouTube will unsub them. It just happens. I mean, some people might go in there and sit through and unsub, find another person, unsub, find another, unsub. But most people don't have the attention span if I can sit there and do that. I mean, once they sub, it's like, whatever. I just never go watch the person, but I'm still subbed up. until you're not. You'll notice that. You'll be like, shit, I haven't seen you around in a long time. And you'll go to their channel and you'll be like, shit, how come I'm not subbed up anymore? Because you haven't been around in a long time. The channel 2, man. I just go over there, like this morning, went over there just to see. And he's ranting and raving and yelling at everybody. You all think you know what's wrong with my plants. You don't know it. Well, you know, what you've been doing for the 20 whatever years you've been growing isn't working. But you're telling everybody else they're wrong. I think you need to go to a therapist, channel 2. But you won't. You know why? Because you're a narcissist. You can't go to a therapist because the therapist is going to tell you that. They're going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you right now. Why is it everybody else's fault? Why is nothing you do wrong and everything you do right? But you live the way you live. You have so many heartaches. You have a rough go at life, but you seem to think it's everybody else. And it's not. It's just you. If you sat back and fucking just changed a few things, maybe not be so confrontational with people, and maybe take a look at what they're saying, and at least, you know, maybe try something. And then that could be ADHD, right? I mean, like, not everybody's good at everything. You know, like, I don't paint because it would be like me starting a painting channel, right? And everybody's like, oh my God, you fucking suck, dude. And I'm like, fuck you guys. You don't know a fucking thing. You put the fucking brush on the fucking paper like this and like that. And nobody does it like me because I'm better than everybody. And everybody would look at me like I was fucking insane. Like, what are you talking about? Look, I'm not claiming to be the best. I'm not claiming to know everything. I'm not claiming shit. I know that when somebody talks, though, and they have good plans, like a creative talks about something, I'm going to listen because look at his plans, right? Now, if he says in there, well, I've never done it, then I'm going to be like, well, maybe I should go look for myself if I'm not interested. I'll go research it or look into it. And that's all I've ever asked Channel 2 to do. Open your mind up to what people suggest and at least take a look at it. Don't shit on what they're telling you right away and tell them how wrong they are. We 80% chance they're probably not wrong. Or they're close to winning. So they're going to be closer than whatever you're doing. You know, they're going to be more right than you. I learn shit all the time. I'm still consider myself a basic. I can fill a fucking tent. I can do it fucking consistently over and over and over, and I flip fucking multiple yields per year. I mean, can I do better? Sure. You can always do better. I mean, am I really efficient? Yeah. When I look at the numbers, yeah, I'm pretty efficient. Not everybody's a gardener. Not everybody's a fucking cook. Not everybody's a fucking house cleaner. Not everybody's a, you know, like. I'd say, hey, you want to come up and fucking chit chat? It's an ADHD, but I know that. What? I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about, really. Like, people are like, oh, you could talk about all kinds of things with the plants. Well, is any of that relevant to actually growing a plant, though? Is any of it relevant? Like, we can talk about terpenes. We could talk about, there's a lot of different things, but is any of it relevant to growing a healthy plant? No. So if we're talking about things that are relevant to growing a healthy plant, don't overwater, be in the right size pot, light, food. Like, it's not easy for me to fucking try to teach any of that over a phone, through a video, through another video. Like a dude trying to tell another dude what he sees on a dude's phone through his dude's camera. Like, what's light? A pot that's light to you might not be light to me. Like, there's just like little basic things. You've got to figure those basic things out, though. All I'm trying to get you to do is look at the basics. Once you figure out the basics, fucking have fun with it. It's kind of like my whole stance on adding things. Like, should I add CO2? Should I add more of this? Should I have under canopy lighting? Should I have this? Should I have this? My question to you is, do you fill the space that you're in right now consistently over and over and over? If you're like, well, I got it almost full once, then no, you're not ready to add those extra things. Because like CO2 is a perfect example. Say you get 25% more. If you're not getting 100% maximization of your space right now, how do you know that you ever got 25% more? I mean, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I started using this product and oh my God, look at this yield, so much better than last year yield. Is it that product? Or is it you got to be a better grower? This round, you did better. You don't know. But once you start maximizing your space over and over and over and over, and then you tell me, I added CO2 and I got 25% more, I'm going to be like, fucking right on, dude. Because I can see that you're filling your space all the time. And I have no choice but really to believe what you're saying because I look at your plants. You speak through your plants. So when you tell me all this hogwash and bullshit, and too much light, and too much this, too much that, and I'm looking at your plants and I'm going, dude, you know what the fuck you're talking about? You don't know what you're fucking talking about. Look at your plants. And sure, everybody has issues from time to time. Everybody has fucking hiccups or whatnot, right here. It's how you move forward through that. Are you the guy that's going to have a major hiccup and then decide to keep the plant and fucking recover it, waste all the time and electricity and all that? Or are you the guy that's going to have a hiccup and be like, well, fuck, I have 3 more of these, fuck this, and throw it away? I mean, it's on you. It's hard to deny when you look at good plants. You look at healthy plants, you look at those and you're like, holy shit, those look great. I would love to have those. Or do you want to learn from the channel that's gonna, you look at the plants and you're like, yeah, they're all right. You don't say it out loud, but in your head you're like, man, it doesn't look as good as that other guy's. But I'm still gonna stick around and listen to this guy because he's nice. At the end of the day, nice and feelings does not fill up jars, turkey bags, Grove bags. It doesn't fill up fucking, it doesn't, you don't get an accumulation of weed by nice, fuzzy, warm feelings. That's not what fills your fucking nug jars. Sorry, it doesn't. Could you do worse than General? Absolutely. I think you could do worse than General too. Absolutely. He finishes. I mean, that's about all I could say. I mean, but I mean, I don't know because everybody pretty much finishes, right? Everybody that finished thinks they won. If they finish, they won, right? I hate to break it to you, but just because you're the last guy, I mean, the janitor's getting ready to turn the fucking lights off in the stadium, and you're the last guy and you finished, you didn't win. You came in fucking last place. You were way far off. You were, like, you got a ribbon for fucking participating. It was like levels when he's trying to claim, oh, fucking these yields, for one, we already know are bullshit yield number. But then when he tries to say it's because he did Swazi Tech, it's just another whole fucking bullshit thing because it's, again, dude, you haven't done a grow consistently. Every grow, you change it up. Every grow, the tent's not full. You're missing a lot of spaces. Every grow, you haven't maximized yet. Maximize the fucking tent and then do all that goofy shit. Then you're going to see, oh shit, no, this is fucking hogwash. You can't tell me, you can't cheat the numbers on the yield and then try to tell me that you got that yield because of Swazi Tech. And I'm just bringing this shit up because I want new growers, if they're even fucking listening, to understand. Don't listen to anything anybody tells you until you see their plants. That's my opinion. I mean, if that means you need to, maybe they don't have shit up on fucking YouTube or they don't have shit on Instagram. That means you need to private message them and say, hey, I'd love to take your advice. You got any pictures of plants so I can take a look at your plants? Tell them. I don't even care. Tell them Chop told you to say that. Because if it's somebody that fucking is in my group, they're going to be like, oh, okay, I know exactly why he's doing that. Because you could take all this advice in the world, follow somebody all the way through, and then look at their plants and be like, oh, God, that explains why my plants suck. And they're not helping you. They're not helping you at all. Again, it goes back to, are you trying to grow bud and grow the best bud you can and have the most possible? Or are you trying to make friends that make you feel good? I mean, because if that's what you're doing, that's not a weed community. That's just a kumbaya fucking hug fest. It's not. I mean, I've talked about doing. I talked about doing, like a weekly fucking live show. I can't even commit to do it myself, like to do something like that. Like I wouldn't commit to do it to somebody else. And there's only a couple people that I'd really want to do a show with. And those people kind of feel the same way I do. They're just kind of like, do I really want to commit to something like that? Like, what for? I hate to say it, but what's in it for me? That's where I'm at anymore. Like, what's in it for me? Like, like, well, whoop de fucking do. If you take anything from this live, most of you already know this, but Channel 2 is pretty much wrong about everything he fucking says. Everybody pretty much knows is I'd love to see him grow his channel, but he's never going to grow his channel with being as thick-headed as he is. He's just not. He's not. I mean, nobody's going to listen to him. Nobody's going to take him seriously. I mean, the guy will flat out tell you how he fucking frauds the fucking IRS and shit. Like, I would never hang out with anybody or associate with anybody like that in real life. Like, if you can't go out and hustle legitly and make money and do your thing, then you gotta rob, cheat, steal, fucking do all that bullshit just to fucking make a few bucks. I'm cool. You're not my people. And why, maybe somebody can explain this to me because I can't understand this. Why do people want to race to the bottom? Why does everybody want to race to the fucking bottom? I just feel like, talk about clones, for instance. How much does it really cost you to cut a clone and keep, whatever? It doesn't cost much at all. But in my opinion, what I have and what I'm working with and what I'm trying to do with what I have and who I want to have it, the last thing I'm doing is selling the shit for fucking dirt cheap and racing right to the fucking bottom. It ain't happening. I mean, I like sharing, I like doing that shit, but same, like I got seeds that I made of feminized seeds of super buff cherries. One, I'm not just gonna release seeds that are just fucking just random all of a sudden to everybody and not know what they are. I'm gonna fucking run them myself. I'm gonna, maybe I'll find a couple people that I know are good growers behind the scene that'll run them, and but I'm weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a control freak, but too many times have I seen people fucking supposed to be a tester. What do? They take the strain, they fucking grow it out, they find something good out of it, they turn around and start making money off it, or they make their own seeds off it, and then, like, wow, everything that I was just working for is fucked now because you just took it over. And so for me, I gotta just fucking work with a couple trusted people I know and leave it at that. When people think I'm nuts and they ask to buy it, seeds too. And when I tell them the price. Because again, I'm not trying to make money off it. I don't need your money to pay my bills. Not that I have money in it like that. I'm pretty broke, dick. But I don't. I don't think of it like that. I don't race myself to the bottom. I'm trying to think to the future. If I ever do want to build a seed company, the last thing I want to do is fucking just throw it out everywhere and everybody have it. I'm going back to the way the shit was done back in the olden days. It didn't get released until we knew it was good. Won't get released until we know it's good. I'm not gonna fucking. The last thing a home grower needs is to fucking pop seeds that have issues. They don't have time for that. They don't have space for that. Yeah. And I'm not shitting on anybody that does that. Anybody that wants to fucking make seeds and give them to everybody and their brother. I mean, cool. I mean, yeah. Some people do that just because they love to do that. They just love giving shit out, and that's great. But again, if I'm looking to the future, I mean, I don't know that I won't start a seed company later on down the future. So I'm not gonna like handicap myself right now and then be handicapped later on down the road. I'm just not gonna do it. Yep. I mean, I'm not gonna race to the bottom. I don't. You know. I sent this super buff cherries cuts to people that I felt that are good growers and that are good to me. You know, I mean, do I have some regrets to that? Yeah, I do. And the only reason why, again, is that whole thinking of the future thing. You know. Well, my biggest thing is I don't want to be that dick, right? Like, yeah, he sent seeds to everybody, and now everybody's got herms and their gardens are fucked, and blah blah blah. You know, I'm not going to do that to people. I'm going to grow it out myself. I'll pick a few people that I know are good growers. You know, let them grow it out, and go from there. There used to be a time back in the day that there wasn't monthly drops like there is now. There's no. I mean, I like Welcome to the Grow Tent. Don't get me wrong. I've never grown any of this stuff. I've heard it's good stuff. But I mean, does he really test all of his stuff? Or is he just making beans and making drops? I mean, because, I mean, it works for him. I mean, don't get me wrong. But, and that's probably though, because he's built to that point, right? He's built up to that point where people are just like, oh, he's never ran it, but I don't care because I'll run it and I like it. Like, but I don't know. I don't know his business model. I don't know how his, operating procedures are. Um, I know people fucking make seeds and instantly drop them and don't run them though. I know that happens. I've asked breeders like, well, what is this? Oh, I'm not really sure. I'm running it for the first time too. Like, oh shit. Yeah, because technically he doesn't sell seeds. He doesn't sell seeds. He gives them away with memberships and shit, which is smart. That's the way to do it. Do you want to come up, ADHD? I'll send you the link. Oh, and that's all fine and dandy, yeah, but I'm the guy. I want to test it before I put it out in the public. I'm not gonna. Not that he sells seeds, but you have to pay for a membership to get seeds, so he gets money for seeds that have never been tested. And so I'm just that's his way to do it, and that's great. It works for him. I mean, I don't think he's had many problems. So I'm just I'm more old school, I guess. I knew breeders back in the day, and they would run their shit, fucking have killer weed that nobody had around for a while, and then once they got tired of fucking running that shit, then they'd sell off the seeds. Then they would release the seeds out to we get 1,000 people passing out free tester beans. How many tester beans come out of those tester beans because people, like, I don't know. I don't think it's conducive to give people that don't know how to grow seeds. I just don't. I mean, not for me. Like, I want to try to have the best shit, and I don't need some grower that doesn't know how to grow to make my shit look bad. And I know that kind of sounds shitty, but it's kind of like the equipment. If you grow shitty plants and you're using a Mars Hydro light, I'm probably not going to go buy a Mars Hydro light. So Mars Hydro, think about who you're giving your lights to. Same with Spider Farmer, AC Infinity, same thing. I have none of that shit. Why? Because none of those companies has put in that equipment other than, or take this back, other than New York John. I haven't seen nobody other than New York John that they've given these lights to represent their company that has fucking just knocked it out of the park solidly all the time. So is it the light? Is it the company? Or is it the grower? I mean, yeah, see that right there. Right? That right there. Because Chad Westport's seeds got grown by Astro, which is a big time plant killer. Everybody knows that. People will not buy those seeds because they're going to equate it to the genetics and not the grower. See? So I'm not putting myself in that same fucking position. Once I test them and I know they are what they are and they're good, and then if I do decide to release them, I won't have the second thought in my mind of, oh, maybe they were fucked up. It wasn't the grower. I'll know, nope, it's consistently been grown, consistently looks good, consistently, perfectly fine. It's the grower. After that, then it's the grower. But I'm not going to just release shit that is unknown. I'm not going to do that. I've got a funky looking pheno that I got out of this. I don't even know what I'm calling it. Super crop cherry, whatever the fuck. And I can't wait to. I'm already taking clones off that shit. So it'll probably be next run. I'll be running that. Because I know, like, a majority of the people, they're going to want the purple, right? They're going to want the purple frosty super buff cherries. What if I grow all these seeds and and you don't get it? People are going to be disappointed. So if there's a big chance, a large ratio and percentage of not getting that out of the seeds that I have, and that's what people want, why would I release it? Until I know that there's a great chance in a pack of 6, you're going to get a purple. Like, but if I can't guarantee that, then, I mean, I just haven't, I don't, for me, I'd like to go just try some Welcome to the Grow Tent, but for me, what is my value of going over and getting a membership through Welcome to the Grow Tent? What do I really get from that? What am I going to get from that? Newer growers, other people, sure. I encourage people to do that because he's going to teach you the same shit that I say and a lot of other people that came from the Grow Boss says. He just says it in a way that makes you feel good. And Welcome to the Grow Tent's good about that. He's good about speaking. I'm not as good. I'm just going to cut right to the fucking chase, And maybe that's because I'm not trying to make money on nothing, I don't know. Dude, if you create that, I'll be dying to get it. I like Roman Grosjean though. I've talked to him behind the scenes. He's a real cool guy. Um, he's a real busy guy. He doesn't have time to fucking talk to everybody like that. And he gets so many fucking emails. I understand why he has to do the membership thing. And that's the only way he can prioritize his time to the people that are really committed to get the information, right? Because we can sit out here and we've done it over and over and over on YouTube, giving the information, nobody takes it seriously. Well, when somebody pays, they tend to take it more seriously. And I understand why he does that. That's to prioritize his time because he doesn't have time to answer all these random questions, have a conversation with somebody for an hour, for them to turn around and go over and Swazi like fucking Levels does. Nobody has time for that anymore. And nobody's going to commit time to doing that anymore. I mean, there's a reason why my name is School of Crop, right? Because when I initially started doing all this, I wanted to create a network where people could learn. People don't want to learn though. Unfortunately, they don't. I mean, if they truly did, they would find the person that they want to learn from that's closest to what they're doing or what their space is. And they would do that and they would listen to that one person. But they don't. They don't. I like helping people behind the scenes, don't get me wrong. The only thing I'll tell you right now, I'm not good with emails. I fucking forget to check emails. I mean, email is bad. If the best way to get a hold of me, honestly, is through IG Messenger. I get so much crap fucking emails and shit like that. I just fucking I hardly ever check it. But just throwing it out there, I do have a few packs of Super Bub cherries if somebody's interested. But I'm telling you right now, you're not going to like the price. They are technically, I guess they're S2s. And I would let. Yeah, no, I'm not even going to let them go yet. I'm just going to wait. Yeah, value to me might be zero to you. But that's the thing, right? If you want them bad enough, you'll buy them. If you don't, then I'm not worried about selling them. Like, I could be selling Super Bowl cherries on a fucking website right now, clones. But I'll be honest, again, I'm fucking open book. I'll tell you straight up. I felt disrespected on what the person put the value on the clones. I won't sell them on there. I'll keep them to myself. I'm working them. I'm making seeds. I'm doing crosses. You know, like fuck it. I'll keep it to myself. I won't send the clones to nobody else. It's great. Cool. You know, when you tell me your strain and whatever pheno somebody else grew of yours is worth more than what I have, that you've never even tried and you've never, yeah, I'm cool. I'll pass. I'll pass. You know, Yeah, grow more stress less. That's fucking Super Buff Cherries. And I can tell you right now, I'm not going to tell you where the stores came from. I'm not going to tell everybody all my fucking business. But I can tell you right now, somebody that works with Grow More Stress Less, they like the mob cut over Super Buff Cherries number 23. Better color, better terps, better just, I mean, so for me, I feel like I'm doing a disservice if I just whore the fucking cut out. The crazy thing is when the cut came available, this cut was offered to anybody who wanted it. All they had to do was pay shipping. But because we're not big time breeders or we're not big time fucking subscribers and shit like that, nobody took it serious or nobody, I don't know. I sent it to who I wanted to send it to. And for me, honestly, I'll be honest with you, Super Buff Cherries is probably the best strain I've had in a really long time. So I value it more than most people. So, and what I'm trying to do with it values it higher in my side than it does anybody else. So I'm getting ready to put it into a fucking cannabis cup, shit like that. Like, why am I going to whore it out and race to the bottom if I'm trying to build it up? Sure, people are like, oh, Super Buff Cherries is everywhere. The mob cut is not everywhere. I've seen other things similar to it. I don't know if it's the same. I don't know, because obviously I can't smell it or taste it to a picture. But I could say this that pretty much everybody that's grown it thinks this cut really likes it. They really like it. And it's all been consistently grown throughout multiple people's fucking grows. It pretty much grows the same. None of us have had herms, so it's consistent. I mean, it's a really fucking good strain. Or pheno of the strain. These days, I'm into having the best of the best that I can get and being able to consume it the best way possible. Yeah. I don't see the point of fucking growing something really fucking good and then just not consuming it in a way that you're going to enjoy it the best. Oh yeah, like it's hard because you got to search through a lot of fucking strains and a lot of phenos and a lot of, and it's even harder for home growers because realistically we're only running fucking so many seeds at a time because we don't have the space to run 1,000 seeds at a time, to do a fucking big pheno hunt, like, but you can do it quicker than what people think. Like You don't have to grow this fucking big, huge monster plant before you put it in the flower to find out if you like that pheno or that's the strain that you really like. Like, grow that seed into a decent sized mom, take a fucking pet off the top of it, clone the top. Fucking, you can clone the top and throw the fucking rest of it right into flower if you want to. You know, as long as there's enough plants going into flower to fill your space, fuck, do a big pheno run. I don't give a shit. Fill the space. And I'm like, I don't care if you got 20 strains or you got fucking 2 strains, but fill the space. And here's the other thing. If you don't know what the strain's going to do, it's really tough to get good yields on multiple strains in the same flower space, because one that stretches 3 times and the others that only stretch 1 times, and then this other one stretches 2 times, light equals yield. If you can't get the light to the plant because all these plants are taller than all these other plants, you're going to suffer in yield. Like of a kind of a size. I don't care if it's a different strain. As long as you know it grows fucking pretty damn similar to the rest. And you're going to be with a plant that looks pretty similar to the rest. That's why I do monocrop. Why? Because same feeding, same watering, same fucking defoliation, same fucking canopy height, then I can put the fucking light right over the top of the fucking, you know, I'm going to get maximum yield. You won't get maximum yield with plants that are, you know, a foot or 2 higher than the other plants. You just won't. Light penetration starts from the light. 2 feet down is your best penetration. So if you have to be 18 inches above these plants over here, but it now puts you 3 feet to these other plants over here, these other plants will suffer yield. And thinking that you can swazi your plants to get back that penetration to gain that yield that you're going to lose, it doesn't work that way. Whether the leaves are there or the leaves are gone, you already are so far away from the light, there's not enough PPFD to create the good, fucking nice quality buds. Oh, cheap ass bastard. I'm not going to lie to you. Most everybody on the internet is. That's why everybody shows up to giveaways. That's why everybody, you know, and that's okay. You know, why are you on the internet? Because you're on YouTube, you're trying to find the fucking easiest, best way for the cheapest, you know, like, why are you growing your own weed? Well, a lot of people are growing their own weed because they can't afford to keep buying it on, you know, like, so, yeah. Or, I mean, a lot of cheap people. But, I mean, you got to figure out where you want to be cheap at. And I understand a lot of people can't afford just to go buy a fucking $150 pack of seeds. But they'll go buy a fucking brand new humidifier that they didn't need. You know, they'll go buy a fucking whatever else that they think they need because somebody told them to. I would say the number one thing, if you're really broke and you're just getting ready to start, the number one thing you should put your money at is a light. But you really got to figure out how much product do you need to keep you going, right? That's your first thing you should figure out. You shouldn't just go out and buy a 5x5 tent because you might not need a 5x5 tent or a 5x5 light because you're going to buy the light first. You might not need that. You know, if you're a really light fucking smoker, like, well, I'm not, but some people, like I said, I did 5.4 pounds last year in the 2x4 for the year, just in the 2x4. Maybe that might be enough for some people. So you getting a 5x5 tent would be overkill for what you need. In my opinion, I think people should be doing monocrop. I don't care how quick you do it or whatever, however you want to do that, but I think you should be running 2x4s. Why? Because you can do a monocrop in a 2x4. 30 days later, do a monocrop of a different strain than the other 2x4, and now you're pulling every 30 days. And just have a little spot over there to keep, not little, but you'll see. Have a spot for moms and a shelf for clones, and rinse and repeat. Just do that for as many 2x4 tents as you want. I mean, you could break it down to every week. You could do every 2 weeks. You could do every 30 days. You could do, however you want. But a 2x4 tent is really easy to work with, and it doesn't take up very much space. And you can flip them quick. Yeah, I mean, if you can get a pound, yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, a 2x4 is like the space of a closet. Everybody's got a fucking closet. Like, and it's all how big you want to get. You want to scale it up. It's always scalable. I don't know. For me, I don't want to push anybody to do it the way I do it. I mean, don't do it the way I do it. But there is a reason why these bigger channels are starting to talk about quick flips and shit like that, right? I mean, yeah, their quick flip's probably not what my quick flip is, because they're used to fucking vegging for like 4 months. So to them, a quick flip would be 2 months. Like, I don't fucking know. I tried listening to it. I just can't listen to those guys, because it's like, you motherfuckers sit around here, listen to my shit, and then take it for your own content. At least give credit where credit's due. Like, you say you're for the home grower and you say you're for the community, but do you ever once fucking give a source of actually where you got your information from? Because you're stealing it from us. Not really stealing it, because once it's on the internet, it's fucking, you do what you want with it. But you take the information and you turn it and twist it to make it your information. And it's not. How many times have we seen Growbots information or information from Growbots guys over on Scotty Reel, over on fucking the Stash Blend, or whatever the fuck that show is, over on the AC Infinity bullshit, Mr. Grow, or any of these guys? No, they take it and they make it their own. And can't even give credit where credit's due. Like, yeah, cite your source. Where'd you get I mean, if you heard it from some fucking little old YouTuber or whatever, fucking say that. Shut that guy out, because if it's good enough information that you're fucking giving it to your people, then your people should know where you're getting it from. Unless you're afraid that your people won't be like, fuck this guy, I can get all the better information from this guy. And that's probably what it is. But I mean, stop being scared. Give out build the community if you really want to build the community. If you're really about the home growers, cite your fucking source. Mm-hmm. There's one thing I'll never do. I'll never take any of their information and try to use it, because most of their information, if they didn't steal it from us, is trash. You see fucking pigeons. Oh, he's so excited about his yield. Like, you only get that excited about a yield like that if you've never done it before. He did pretty well this last run. He's finally filling a fucking tent. Finally, though. after all these fucking years. And you could tell by his excitement. Nowadays, for me, it's like, oh, fuck, I gotta yield. Fuck, I gotta harvest. It's like, here we go again. Like, that whole excitement is gone. I don't have that anymore. Like, it's like cooking dinner or something. When you cook dinner, you try to make the best fucking dinner you're making, right? You're like, I don't think people go in and just half-ass it just to make something to eat. I mean, maybe they do, but the same thing. You do it the best you can. You do very bare minimal of what you need to, because for the most part, you're gonna fuck it up more when you're fucking with it. And then you harvest it when it's done, fucking start over. Do it again. I don't know. Exactly. Nobody ever wants to do the dishes. What they do is they try to convince you that you should just buy paper plates. Ah, fuck that. Buy paper plates. Then you ain't gotta worry about it. This is bugging me. I have to bring it up, and I'm not trying to fucking start no shit with him, but Creative said something yesterday in his show, and I hope he thinks about some of these things he says, because he was saying something about, hey, if you're in Arizona and I was told you I'm going to give you weed, then I'm about ready to harvest. You need to get a hold of me. You need to hold me accountable. I grew up in a different world. Like, if you tell me you're going to do something, it's your obligation, and you need to hold yourself accountable for doing it. I'm not going to come to you and be like, hey, dude, you said you were going to do this. You said you were going to do it. You should hold yourself accountable and follow through with what you said. Because I'm not the guy that's going to do that. I'm not going to come to you and be like, hey, dude, you told me that you were going to do. No, I feel weird doing that. Like, I'm giving you the opportunity to say or do what you said you're going to do. Like, so those are things that kind of bug me, that make me not want to be part of that show. Like, nobody should hold you accountable for your actions. You should hold yourself accountable first. Like, if you can't hold yourself accountable, then you shouldn't be saying or doing those things, whatever it is. Like, that kind of bugged me yesterday. I didn't understand why he said that. Like, just follow through with what you say, and then you won't. Why should somebody else? I don't know. Oh, absolutely. I get high and forget shit too, but those things that I'm weird about that. Especially if I say I'm going to do something, I'm not going to forget that I'm going to do that, because I have to do that now, right? Like, if that means I have to make a list, if I have to, like, fuck, I don't want to do this, but I said I would, so now I got to follow through. I got a fucking sick, shitty, fucking looking strawberry comp plant still. I mean, it's looking better now, but that I keep around just because I told somebody I would get him cuts of it. Do I want that plant? Do I want to throw that plant away? Absolutely. I want to kill that motherfucker. But should he get a hold of me constantly going, hey, you still got that? Are you still doing it? Should he hold me accountable for what I said I would do for him? No. I don't feel he should. You know, I said I would do it. I'm obligated to remember. And however that is, put a fucking string on your finger, put a fucking, you know, I'm obligated. That's just me. I said I would do it. I need to remember and hold myself accountable to do it. You know, or I'm just not going to say I'm going to do something. If there's a chance that I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and I'm just going to forget and not ever, then I'm not being serious enough about what I'm saying. I won't say it. Because we all forget. No, creative's all right. I don't necessarily agree with what he says, but I mean, he's all right. There's nothing wrong with creative. He's his own person, and you know, I still watch his show. I just don't agree with everything he says. Not that he's wrong, because I just don't agree with it. For me, the only thing you got on the internet is your word. So if you tell somebody something and you don't follow through with it, then that's the value of your character. I mean, people are always, not always, but I've had people tell me, like, oh, you're afraid of commitment, aren't you? And it's like, no, I'm not afraid of commitment, but I'm not going to commit myself to something that I can't fully know that I'm going to be able to follow through with. You know, for me, I don't do that. Like, I won't promise you something because making a promise is a big fucking deal. Really, it should be. Like, yeah, doors. Absolutely. I mean, you can't give away shit. I always think of that whole saying, good news travels fast and bad news travels faster. So if you don't do or follow through with what you say you're going to do, everybody's going to know about that. Like fucking so fast, so quick. You can be the nicest person to a bunch of people and people will hear about it, but they're not going to hear about it as fast as they will if it's something bad. It just, but yeah, I don't know. nap time yet. Anyways, I've been on here an hour and 25 minutes. I'll probably going to jump off and everybody can go over to Creatives and check out the show. I encourage you to, because Creative grows good plants. He knows how to grow, and he can give you good grow advice. Just because I personally don't agree with some of the things that he says and does, doesn't mean other people should. Be your own person. I'm an asshole. I'm old school though too, so I mean, I could be completely fucking wrong, and but I'm just setting my ways now. Anyways, you're almost home. Do you want to jump up? But we can do a little fucking bullshit and smoke some joints or something. I'll wait. Nope, he's gone. Well, I'll leave everybody with this.
And then having a good team.
What do you think the number one thing people do wrong is in the grow or with plants that you've seen?
I think people waste a lot of space. You don't need a 6 foot tall plant to hit your numbers. Like I shoot for a 4 foot tall plant, and I want my canopy depth a certain height. Certain strains I can get away with more canopy depth. Others I can't, depending on, leaf density and, calic ratios and everything else. But I don't think people maximize their space well. And I see a lot of people wasting time and energy and money on a plant that you could have done more with less. Like, you don't need to grow a 6 foot tall plant. You just don't.
To strip the bottom 4 feet off.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's always my favorite.
It's
Throw
crazy.
some pavins in there. Pull it all. Yeah.
All right, guys. With that, I'll leave you guys. Like I say, fucking go over to Creative. He's live right now. Go over there and fucking hang out. Have a good day. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.